The first issue we shall be discussing is International Day of Yoga और इंटरनेशनल योगा डे। 21 जून 2015 के बाद से हर साल इस दिन को मनाया जाता है। यूनाइटेड नेशंस जनरल असेंबली में इसकी इंसेप्शन 2014 में हो गई थी और इस दिन को निर्धारित करने का श्रेय इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को जाता है। इंटरनेशनल योगा डे हर साल 21 जून को सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है। वर्ल्ड वाइड अवेयरनेस अबाउट द बेनिफिट्स ऑफ योगा, डेली लाइफ में इसके क्या फ़ायदे हैं। योगा क्रिएट्स ए बैलेंस बिटवीन बॉडी, सोल एंड माइंड एंड it can help us to understand the purpose of life and how to survive in the changing environment. Yoga is an ancient practice which brings together physical, mental discipline to achieve a peaceful body and mind. This is what yoga is. Yoga means plus, addition, add karna, mind और body के सब aspects को add करना। Yoga is a form of exercise that is performed through diet, breathing and physical posture. International Yoga Day 2020 theme. The theme of 6th International Yoga Day is Yoga for Health, Yoga at Home. And the theme of 5th International Yoga Day 2019 was Climate Action. आज हम योगा के बारे में जो भी जानते हैं, ये महर्षि पतंजलि द्वारा लिखी गई एक किताब पतंजलि योग सूत्र, उसमें से हमें इसके बारे में सब कुछ पता चलता है। महर्षि पतंजलि जो हैं ये पुष्यमित्र शुंगा डायनेस्टी के एक बहुत ही ग्रेट किंग 195 to 142 BC के दौरान इनका रीन रहा। तो महर्षि पतंजलि ने जो योग सूत्र उस समय बिखरे हुए थे उनको इकट्ठा किया, 195 योग सूत्रस को इकट्ठा किया। अष्टांग योग के सब एस्पेक्ट्स को पतंजलि's योग सूत्रा के अंदर उन्होंने लिख दिया एंड नाउ द पतंजलि's योग सूत्रा इज द स्टैंडर्ड एंड द ग्रेटेस्ट ट्रीटाइज ऑन योगा। जब भी हम अष्टांग योग के बारे में पढ़ें तो पतंजलि ने 8 लिम्स ऑफ योगा बताए हैं, उनके बारे में आपको जरूर पता होना चाहिए। दीज आर यम, एक्सटर्नल डिसिप्लिन। एक्सटर्नल डिसिप्लिन जैसे अहिंसा है, सत्य है, ब्रह्मचार्य है। देन द सेकंड एस्पेक्ट इज नियम। नियम मीन्स द इंटरनल डिसिप्लिन। इंटरनल डिसिप्लिन मीन्स संतोष। देन तपस। देन स्वाध्याय मीन्स स्टडी ऑफ सेल्फ। तो देन द थर्ड एस्पेक्ट आर द आसनास, posture. Then pranayam, breath control. Pratyahar, withdrawal of senses, travel inwards. Then dharan, concentration. Dhyan, meditative absorption. And then samadhi, union with the nature or integration into the nature or the integration of all of your senses. So these are the 8 pillars of yoga or Ashtang Yog philosophy. इंटरनेशनल योगा डे का जो लोगो है उसका मीनिंग भी आपको पता होना चाहिए। इसमें लिखा गया है योगा फॉर हार्मनी एंड पीस। द जॉइनिंग हैंड्स रिप्रेजेंट यूनियन। ऑरेंज हैलो रिप्रेजेंट्स फायर एलिमेंट। ग्लोब रिप्रेजेंट्स वननेस, योगा इज फॉर एवरीवन। ग्रीन लीव्स नेचर, ब्राउन लीव्स अर्थ एंड blue human art is the water in body. So we have to integrate all these things to achieve penance. This is what the aim of yoga is. Let us start with our second topic of the day, that is summer solstice. First of all, let us try to understand what is the direction of revolution of earth. As we know that earth revolves around the sun and rotates at its own axis. The movement of earth around the sun in a fixed path is called as a revolution. The earth revolves from west to east, that is in an anti-clockwise direction. And earth completes one revolution in 365.3 0.25 days. Hence, every fourth year is a leap year, because 0.25 into 4 amounts to 1 extra day. In this slide, you can see the movement of Earth around the Sun. The position of the Earth on June 2021, September 22nd, 23, December 21, 22, and March 20. Now, what is summer solstice? It is also known as the estival solstice or the midsummer. It occurs when one of the Earth's pole has its maximum tilt towards the Sun. It happens twice yearly, once in each hemisphere. Because we live in northern hemisphere, hence we have named it as summer solstice and winter solstice. But in reality, solstice occur in both hemispheres once in year. So overall we can say it happens twice yearly, once in each hemisphere. So in this slide we can see that summer solstice of northern hemisphere is June 2021 and of southern hemisphere is December 21-22. But conventionally, because we live in northern hemisphere, we say that June 2021 is the summer solstice and December 21-22 is the winter solstice. But in reality, when it is summer solstice, because northern hemisphere summers and southern hemisphere summers. In this slide, you can see there are some imaginary lines on the surface of Earth which have been drawn by human beings for their own convenience to understand the concepts related to movement of Earth. Arctic Circle, it is 66.5 degree north. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. Equator, 0 degree. Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degree south. Antarctic Circle, 66.5 degree south. The journey of the Sun is between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn always. It is due to the spatial relationship between Earth and the Sun. So hence, when Sun reaches Tropic of Cancer, then again at equator, then to Tropic of Capricorn, again to equator, and again to Tropic of Cancer. So we have named these positions in different ways. Summer solstice, as it is known in northern hemisphere, is the day when sun's rays are falling at 90 degree over Tropic of Cancer. You can clearly see in this slide. This slide shows the journey of the Earth around Sun. You can see summer solstice is June 21-22, incoming solar energy greatest in the northern hemisphere, and the sun's rays fall at 90 degree over Tropic of Cancer. The journey continues. Then it is autumnal equinox, September 22-23. Equinox means same length of day and night, and the incoming solar energy equal in both hemispheres. Journey further continues. Winter solstice, December 21-22, incoming solar energy greatest in the southern hemisphere. So now it is the summer of the southern hemisphere. So the winter solstice, as we know it in northern hemisphere, can also be called as the summer solstice of the southern hemisphere. Then journey continues. We reach March 21-22. It is called as vernal equinox, and again incoming solar energy is equal in both hemispheres, and when equinox occurs, sun is exactly over equators. So being in northern hemisphere, June 21-22 is known as the summer solstice, when the sun is exactly over Tropic of Cancer, and it is the longest day. In this slide, you can see the axial tilt of the Earth. The Earth is tilted by 23.5 degrees. This axial tilt decides which pole of the Earth or the which hemisphere of the Earth will receive more energy. During summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, the north pole is tilted towards the sun, and the sun is over Tropic of Cancer. Hence, northern hemisphere receives a lot of energy. The north pole has 6 months long day. As we will proceed towards the winter solstice, the South Pole will be facing the sun in December, and there will be summer in the southern hemisphere and winter in the northern hemisphere. The South Pole will have a 6-month long day. Let us start with third topic of the day, solar eclipse. As you can see in this diagram that solar eclipse occurs when moon comes between sun and earth and shadow of the moon falls on the earth, blocking the sunlight, and we see an eclipse. Put simply, a solar eclipse is a shadow play between three actors. There are three actors: the sun, moon, and the earth, illuminated by the sun. The moon casts a shadow out into the space, a long, thin, pointed cone called as umbra. Anyone inside that umbral cone will see the sun completely blocked out by the moon. And as you can see in the diagram, due to bending of the light, there is another zone called as penumbra, and at the tip of the umbra there is another shadow, a very unique information I am giving, called as antumbra. So these are the three shadows which result in different kinds of eclipses. Then solar eclipses may only happen at new moon, when the sun, moon, earth are lined up in that order. This condition must be met so that moon's umbra or penumbra can reach the surface of earth. So it is the game of shadow and the distance. As you can see in this slide, total solar eclipse happens due to umbra. Annular means a ring-like appearance of the solar eclipse happens due to antumbra, and penumbra results in partial eclipse. First of all, why these three kinds of shadows? Actually, it is a game of the distance between sun, moon, and the earth. Let us try to understand what happens. At the time of a solar eclipse, if the moon is farther away from the earth or the sun is closer, the moon's umbral cone, the darkest shadow, falls short of reaching the surface of earth, but beyond the tip of the cone extends what is called as the antumbra, which does reach earth's surface viewed from anywhere within the strip of the land swept by the antumbra. A ring of sunlight remains visible, hence an annular eclipse of the sun. Now the second condition, when the moon is closer to earth, moon is larger relatively, or the sun is farther away, sun is smaller relatively, the moon's umbra may touch the surface of earth, and if we are within the ground track of the umbra, the moon completely covers the dazzling surface of the star, and we witness a total eclipse of the sun. So as you can see in this diagram, if a place falls in the umbral cone, it will have the path, it will be in the path of totality, where there will be a total solar eclipse. And if a place is in the antumbral zone or the path of annularity, those areas will have an annular eclipse, and the zones which fall in penumbra, these zones will always see partial eclipse. As the moon advances in front of the sun, it blocks out an increasingly larger portion of our star, and the ambient luminosity decreases accordingly, as you might have experienced today afternoon. These are the partial phases of the eclipse, and the sun appears like a thinner and thinner crescent. It is partial solar eclipse. As you can see in this slide, the different phases of the partial solar eclipse have been captured by me. In this slide, you can see a comparison of the total eclipse, annular eclipse, and partial eclipse. Why total or annular solar eclipses are so rare to see? Because penumbra and antumbra always hit a narrow path called as the zone of annularity or the zone of totality, which are visible over a very narrow zone of the earth, and the people residing in those areas only can see these wonderful phenomena. Some important values. If we are inside the path of annularity, an annular eclipse culminates with annular phase. A ring-like structure will be formed and you will see a rim of the light for a few minutes. Theoretical maximum 12 minutes 30 seconds. The sun looks like a ring of fire. And in case of total solar eclipse, if we are within the path of totality, the moon eventually blocks out the bright surface of the sun completely. This is totality for up to 7 minutes 31 seconds. Theoretical maximum. The sky becomes dark except for the horizon, which takes on the colors of twilight. The brightest stars in the planets might appear. Delicate solar corona reveals itself around the black silhouette of the moon, and a stunning spectacle, a ring of fire, might appear. Just to remind you, on either side of path of totality or annularity, we find two much larger zones swept by moon's penumbra. From there, one only gets to see a partial eclipse to some degrees. For a passing reference, an amazing coincidence. The sun is 400 times wider than the moon, but it's also 400 times farther from the earth on an average. That's why these two celestial bodies have nearly the same apparent size in the earth's sky. This wonderful relationship between earth, moon and the sun is responsible for the fact that a small body like moon can block the sunlight coming from the sun. Then another question. Why no eclipses every month? As you can see in this slide, because the orbit of moon is tilted slightly more than 5 degrees with respect to the earth's orbit around the sun. Earth's orbit is represented by this checkered part. At most new moons, the moon's shadow passes well above or below our planet. As you can see, the tilt is pretty visible. An eclipse is possible only when the moon is near one of the 2 points called nodes, as it is visible in the lower diagram. You can see Earth, Sun and Moon are in a single line, and there are 2 points called as nodes, where its orbit intersects the plane of Earth's orbit. Favorable periods occur twice a year for a few weeks. They are known as the eclipse season, and they shift about 19 days from one calendar year to the next. So there will be difference of 19 days. In this slide, you can see the area of total solar eclipse, or the totality trail, or the zone of totality. The central dark portion, the areas being covered by this dark portion, will see a total solar eclipse or the annular ring phenomena, and the surrounding areas will always see a partial solar eclipse. I hope आपको इस वीडियो में दी गई इन्फॉर्मेशन अच्छी लगी होगी. 21st June 2020 is a very unique day, as you can see from this particular slide as well. So I request all of you to keep visiting our channel and keep spreading the good knowledge so that it can reach maximum possible students in shortest possible time. Thanks a lot. Stay safe, stay inside. Have a good day.